out-of-pocket expenses for medical care are not sustainable. All of us who do not have an employer paying for our insurance or are, paying for our insurance ourselves are running the risk of that one illness in the family causing a bankruptcy.
The cost of healthcare in an emergency is extremely high. And what an insurance policy does is it gives you a buffer for that period of time. Without that buffer, that's when now you draw on your total savings, you draw on your family and your community, you sell that asset that you had been buying that's supposed to sustain you. It can be financially disastrous.
And the way that you can be able to mitigate such things going forward is if you start early. For most insurance companies, if they have had a history of you as an individual, then you can be able to get a more flexible product. For most of us, and this is a known fact, insurance penetration in this country is quite low. Most of us do not take up insurance. And for those of us who do, it's a start and stop engagement. But if you have consistently taken up an insurance product with your provider for a longer period of time, they can build up a history with you. And even when you are in an older age, then you are able to access more benefits because they have your history.
If you access healthcare today for a healthcare need that you have, it doesn't stop you from having that same healthcare need. You can get malaria today, you get cured for it. In 3 days' time, you get malaria again. But you can get a malaria vaccine. Now, the malaria vaccine would mean that, subsequently you can handle malaria. And maybe that's the way we need to look at insurance, that it's the financial vaccine to your healthcare needs.
We were training retirees in one of the local companies, and this gentleman had been working for 30 years. His retirement fund was actually going to pay him out 15 million shillings, and unfortunately it was going to come out as a lump sum. So he received, his bank account suddenly had 15 million shillings. So what did he do with his family? Packed them all together and took them on a trip of a lifetime. They had never gone on to Dubai. With 1 million of the 15 million he received in his 60s, and he has 20, 30, 40 years left in his life, he spent 1 million shillings on one trip. What was the effect over time? He has reduced the earning potential of his money. Rather than investing it so that that money starts earning money on itself, so it gives a return, he used it beforehand and didn't even invest the rest of it. And so the effect was great over time, because when you're drawing from a pool that is not growing, you're in trouble.
I would like to just share a story of a guy I met that he was probably in his 70s and had a fantastic piece of land, a valuable piece of land. Could have sold or valued at probably 200 million. He never developed the land. I don't know why. He never sold. I don't know why. He had children whom he probably didn't take to the best of schools or the best education system. Again, at that point in time, you don't go asking, why aren't your children educated at this point in time? But you could actually just see a family that was struggling, but living on a 200 million piece of land. He got sick, and unfortunately, they didn't even have enough money to take this man to a decent hospital. Sad story, he died. But guess what? A year later, those children who never went to, who were probably not as educated, who were just doing manual job, right now are real estate owners. What did they do? They subdivided the land, were left in enough portion for their families, but sold most of the land. They put up houses, they did other things. I can see a changed generation. But the old man died because of lack of proper medical care, because he didn't have cash flow, yet the value of the land was crazy. So I think it's that point in time that when you're younger, plan that such things don't happen for you. If you're older, think about what you have and start to determine how can what I have right now ensure that I have cash flow that if I need to go to a hospital, I'll be able to pay for it. So it's that whole cycle of financial knowledge that may not be easy to even comprehend, but it is important to start looking into it.